Morning guys, hope you're doing well. Happy Friday. It's been a great week for Signal, so I'm really happy. It's the best week in ages, and it's going to bring our weekly average up as well, which is cool. Now, the thing of note, the key takeaway today is the fact that we've managed to highlight and detect stop hunts being taken on FXCM trading station. So this move here, this aggressive move on the sentiment, can be one or two things. It could be more longs or less shorts. I don't think this is more longs. I think this is less shorts. And that only comes about from stops being taken. So a less short scenario is simply the retail guys were short, but they've had to reduce that bias by being stopped out. So this is telling us it's indicative of a stop hunt from the aggressiveness of the move. That's the key. All right. So if it's a subtle move, not necessarily less shorts, in other words, stop hunt, but the aggressive move can indicate that. And it's like almost saying, you know, a big move to the upside like that can tell us that, you know, they had to leave the casino quite suddenly, and that's from the stop hunt mechanism, and it's a liquidity probe, okay? And both sides are liquidity probes. So that's that. So I'll show you US 30. That isn't necessarily a stop hunt, but I think this is by the nature of that erratic spike. So let's show you US 30. Do note that we're still pumping and we are a buy at the big picture. Okay, so be aware of that, and we probably can continue higher due to fundamentals. Remember, everything is not sentimental based. It's a very powerful force in the market, but there are other fundamental factors that are going to drive price. But this is a very powerful thing that we look at, but it's not the be all and end all to the price direction, right? So this is a very powerful indicator, but it can ignore the sentiment. Okay, it's important to note there are other factors that are going to push price, like the resolution of the banking crisis will be risk on, you know, regardless of the sentiment. So I'll show you US 30, and you can see how it's a lot more subtle. So I don't think this is a stop hunt. It's just them simply just going long. So it is actually a risky sell, but like I say, it can possibly drive higher. Do note that we were gonna make a diagonal break, but it looks like we might not. If we did, we would have made a dragon, which is X, A, B, C, and then you're looking to buy D below that low. Okay, but we didn't get the break, so we didn't get a dragon. If we had the diagonal break, then yeah, then we would create a harmonic where the D would have to be below the B, and then you buy down here. But it looks like we're just going to be supported on you know, technically supported. And don't forget we're a buy at the big picture. That's important. On our risk calc, we've been risk on for a long time. DAX, and then we'll look at gold. Gold isn't really worth showing you so much because we're just sideways, but I'll show you anyway. And yeah, well, likewise, this is the same as US 500. That move there isn't particularly normal. It's not them going long, it's them leaving the casino. It's them being stopped out, less shorts, and so they're going to get stopped out. And unfortunately, where did they start forming their bias? Oh my God. Oh wow. Yeah, so this is one of the biggest hunts ever. Around about there. Right? So they started forming their bias, actually probably here, should we say, here. They started to sell. Right? And this is why the sentiment is very powerful, but we have to remember there are other factors in place. But you can see how you had the buy trigger from the crossover. Admittedly, we did sort of cross over a little bit, but then they sold it again. And so that's that. So that's DAX, and that's sort of like indicative of all the indices. The herd are conditioned to sell through fear, and from that's how we see price action higher. So that's quite scary. And we'll just show you gold quickly. And obviously I've got a little bit of resistance up here, technical resistance you can see. And gold, XAU, and that'll be a wrap up for the week. And we can see how we've got resistance, supply, and demand. And this is basically formed from the punishment zone. So, you know, they went long, they got punished. They shorted, they got punished. They went long, they got punished. So we're going to be in between the punishment zones, and I think it's just going to probably go sideways until NFP, and then we're going to get a trade set up. So looking for longs above or shorts below, and that's it. So have a great weekend. Do note that the bulletin on Monday will be a afternoon or evening bulletin. I can't do it in the morning because I've got an insane calendar schedule to keep on Monday, and I need to be at a particular place at 10 o'clock in the morning, and it takes a little while to get there. So be careful. For the awesome week on the signals, you can hold CAD-Gen if you want to over the weekend. Just make it risk-free by moving your stop ahead at entry. And I wish you a good weekend, and I'll speak to you on Sunday for the COT data.